This is the town of Irwin, Ohio, established in 1808, although it didn't get its post office until 1858. In 1885, it had about 125 residents, although there are a lot less than that nowadays. At its peak, it had a blacksmith shop, a general store, a tile factory, and a grain elevator, and was an important shipping route for livestock. Right where I'm standing, and where the power line structure behind me is where the railroad line would have sat. And right there, about where the road meets the grass, is where the town train station would have sat. When that train station closed, they picked it up and they moved it to a local farm where it still sits nowadays, although it's in a rather dilapidated state. When that train station moved, it shook the community and it cut off all growth, and the community has been in a relative decline since. Scattered around Irwin are the decayed remnants of a time when it was known as Irwin Station, and it was a bustling town, a small community full of people working to make it a better community. Not that it isn't that anymore, but without the resources of factories and livestock shipping, there's not much life to it. The only things that are left from the old town are the post office and the church. Although the post office and the church are the only operating remnants of old Irwin, there is still one large, old, unoperating remnant: the Old Irwin Rural School. The first part of the school was built in 1903, with an additional laboratory and auditorium being added onto in 1915. This school had all grades under one roof, with the first graduating class graduating in 1907. But considering the auditorium hadn't been built yet, they had to hold a graduation ceremony in the church. In 1918, they finally added a fourth year on the high school, with most students agreeing to stay on for another year to finish out the 4-year high school. And in 1929, it held its final high school class. And in 1943, the elementary followed suit. And the school became a truck stop and an apartment building until the 1980s, and it sat mostly abandoned since. With the school's likely eventual demolition, the largest remnant of this town will be demolished, and it'll be another remnant left to the history books.